Oh, we on?
Yeah, we on.
Oh shit. What we doing? What kind of?
All right.
Oh, I thought we were saying something. My bad.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host. This dysfunctional world.
I'm your boy Said, aka Mr. Let's Talk.
Well, let's talk.
What we talking about today?
We talking about ratchetness at its finest.
At its finest?
21 Savage says
Oh,
Nas
21.
is not relevant. Yo, Nas, much love to the album.
The Living Legend?
It was a great album.
It's a dope album.
I appreciate that.
Man.
I appreciate you dropping music on a consistent basis again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But when somebody calls out a legend for whatever reason and says that they're not relevant, what do you think about that?
First, I'm kind of mad that wasn't nobody, everybody who was listening, who was in on it, because it was a Clubhouse thing, right? That's why I heard it, right?
Clubhouses.
Right. Everybody was agreeing with him. You know what I'm saying? Now, and I understand, like, some of y'all may genuinely feel like that, but I think some of y'all were really, really trying to ride the wave. And y'all feel what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they be riding the wave. I think a lot of people.
If you would have heard that conversation, right? Some of them were, like I said, some of them genuinely felt like that, but you can tell who's riding the wave and who not.
Right.
Some of them people who was on that conversation, because, you know, in club, it'd be a gang of people.
It do.
So some of them were just riding the wave.
But I was just going to say, for whatever reason, me and you both, we're not originally from the South.
Right.
So we openly listen to other genres of music.
Yes.
Other coastal music.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of Southerners don't listen to other coastal music. I've heard Southerners tell me, I don't like Jay-Z.
Oh, I hear that all the time.
Because he talks to the rap. So I'm like, okay.
I hear that all the time.
Then I heard 21 Savage, right? And I remember when I first heard him, and I was like, I remember a comment that a producer told me. He said, when you write, it sounds like you read it. Opposed to when you just spit, it sound like a freestyle. It sound fluent. It has highs and lows. But when you write and you spit it sound like you reading it. I said, wow. And I heard 21. I'm like, but he sounds monotone. The whole style is monotone. Nothing goes up, no elevation, no nothing. I said, but y'all like that. If that's what y'all like, I've been doing that years ago. Oh, okay.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
But what do I think about it? This is what I think about it, right? When you say relevant, in what way are you speaking of, right? Because in his own words, he said, only reason he's still around is because he has a large following and still making good music. And I would argue that that's what relevancy is in the music business. You know what I'm saying? You have a large following, people who are going to follow you because you're continually making good music, not just because you made a hit song or two, right? And I'm not talking about him. I'm just saying as far as what he said, you know what I'm saying, large following. So he has a large following and he's still making great music. Well, that's relevancy. The fact that a young person like him is even speaking about him tells you that this guy is still relevant. There's been a lot of artists around who's been out since Nas has been out, who we no longer talk about.
Give us an example.
And much love to them. I ain't trying to degrade them or nothing, right? But it's a lot of them.
It's not degrade. It's just an example.
It's a lot of them who made like one hit wonders, what they call one hit wonders, or regional hits. Okay. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And they make good money. Yeah. More than I got. So I definitely ain't talking about them. But it's like, go ahead, you go.
Okay.
Yeah, you go. Sometimes you gotta pause yourself.
I'm not gonna say Nas is not relevant. Like I said, I love Nas. Nas is one of my favorite rappers. Top 5, dead or alive. But people's opinions are like this. My loctician says she don't like Jay-Z, right? And she said she never got into his catalog. I said, there's some real dope music out there. She said the only reason people listen to Jay-Z is because of who his wife is.
Now,
And I said, wow, like, you don't think people listen to Jay-Z because he's Jay-Z?
right.
And then I started to tell her that once you get to a certain level, once you accumulate a certain amount of fans, followers, supporters, it's going to be hard for you to put out trash music ever. And people not gravitate to it.
As far as sales wise, yes, you'll never put out trash music as far as sales.
Because the
you have such a wide
only
view.
album that he put out that wasn't
Right.
that was lackluster was that Kingdom Come. For real.
He got, in my opinion, because I am, you know what I'm saying, I like his music, huge fan of his music. And we talking about Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
He has songs that I don't like
Oh,
on
yeah.
every album that he put out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just
Unreasonable Doubt?
no, not Unreasonable Doubt.
Okay.
Or Streets
Okay.
is Watching.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or Blueprint. Or you know what I'm saying? Or but anyway, y'all get what I'm saying. No, but and I'm sure it's kids who feel like that about 21, right? And like you just said earlier, right? A lot of people here in the South don't listen to other coastal music, right?
Right.
I could tell somebody that I think, and this is the actual fact, I think E40 is one of the dopest MCs
He
ever.
is.
But do you know, people will argue me on that and be like, how can you listen to that? And I'm like, if you would just listen to the man's music,
You'll see.
you'll see why. I think E40 is one of the dopest artists ever. That's just my opinion on it. You know what I'm saying?
Me and somebody were talking about him the other day.
But it'd be somebody, you know, and it's no knock. It might be, okay, no, I want to give you an actual argument that I had. An actual, for real argument. They said, who's your favorite rapper of all time? Right? Of all time.
I hate those arguments.
Right. I said, well, to be honest with you, I got a tie between three. They said, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, right? I said, yeah, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas. They said, okay, cool. They said, well, just pick one if you had to, just for argument's sake. I said, all right, cool. I said, Jay-Z. This person said, man, I can't stand when people said that. Actual argument, y'all, real life. I can't stand when people say that. I said, bro, you just told me to pick from the three for argument's sake. So I picked Jay-Z. So I said, who's your favorite artist? He said, Lil Wayne. I said, bro, you can't argue Lil Wayne versus Jay-Z as the favorite artist. You can't. I said,
can.
first of all, both of them is dope.
You can.
You can't. In my opinion, when one wants to sign to the other one, you can't. That's non-debatable.
But that's not. But
I'm sorry. It's a reason for that.
but
You want to sign to him while he's still rapping. Now, I can understand if Jay-Z
No,
was retired. Yes. Jay-Z was still active. Jay-Z was actively rapping when Wayne went to sign to him.
when he was campaigning to be on Rockefeller, he was not still actively rapping. That's when Wayne first jumped out the window with that best rapper alive since the best rapper retired.
No, that's what Wayne was saying.
But I'm just saying.
Nobody,
that's
Jay-Z never said he retired. Wayne was saying, you see what I'm saying? And everybody even said that. Even remember, you had the radio DJs talking about that. Wayne was the one who said that. Jay-Z never said he retired.
You're right.
Wayne kept pushing that.
Because even now, when they ask Jay, he says, "I'm not retired. I just don't do music actively."
Exactly.
You're right.
So he never said that, and people just push that narrative. And I'm like, no, he never said that. Because how many albums have Jay-Z put out since then? At least 3.
4.
I'm just saying, at least, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, he done put out some more music. So he couldn't be retired. So it's like, but like I said, that was a real actual argument. Like, Buddy blew up on me, bro. I can't stand when people say that. I'm like, wait a minute. You can't stand when somebody have an opinion? Like, I never said Wayne wasn't dope. You just asked me who was my favorite art, you know, and I told
went
you.
as far as to say that before.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if you in the South and you say Jay-Z, oh,
You ban him.
it's a rap.
Yeah, you blackball.
It's a rap. As if I'm not saying there's no dope artists in the South. I listen to everybody in the South. You name it, I listen to it.
Hard that pack.
Absolutely.
Skinny pimp.
Absolutely. Ball and G. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Project Pat.
Slim Thug.
Slim Thug.
Zero.
Boss Hog, Outlaws. Zero. Devin the Dude. You know what I'm saying?
Truth.
Trey the Truth. I even listen to Brother Linton. You know what I'm saying? I listen to what's called it. Dayton Brother.
Brother
Dayton.
ain't from the South.
I know, but I'm just naming.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Dayton Brother
Yeah.
from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I listen to a gang of music. That's because back in the day
That's
when
what we grew up on, right?
one, that's what we grew up on. Because remember back in the day when you had the box or whatever, you know what I'm saying, music channel you was watching, they played all music. And two, back in the day, my dad was a DJ. Like, he was a DJ.
Okay.
So we grew up listening to everything. You know what I'm saying? Nigga had old crates to sit up under my bed and stuff.
The only music I ain't never got into is old school hip hop.
Man,
KRS-One,
I got into that too.
Big Daddy Kane.
Got into that.
Now, I'm not knocking them,
But
you know.
wait, we done slid off topic too.
But to bring it back around,
Okay. My gun is over here too.
21 Savage said that an artist by the name of Nas has fallen off. Or not relevant, I'm sorry.
Not relevant.
Not relevant. And I would argue the point, once you make a big enough fan base and continue to put out music, you're relevant. Once you make a
Absolutely.
big enough fan base, it doesn't matter what you put out, they're going to support it. One. Two, as long as it's good, everybody else is going to support it too. Two. Three, you're putting it out. You've gotten to a level where anytime you put anything out, it goes worldwide instantly. So if you don't have a fan, you might get a new one.
And that's how you stay relevant 30-some years later. By constantly putting out new music, because there have been artists who was once mainstream, you know, and they did ran their course, they didn't lose their deal or nothing. They did ran their course, they didn't get read up on their deal. And they started doing independent, and we don't hear from them anymore. You see what I'm saying? So for Nas to be doing this on this, and his first album came out, his first album is older than you. His first album, and people still talk about that album.
It was written was a dope
Currently,
album.
like currently,
Live
they
at
still
the
talk about
Barbecue
that album
was a dope song.
as one of the best albums ever.
It's up there.
It's up there. They put in that discussion. I'm
It's up
saying,
there.
and this album is like 30 years old, and people still talk about
It's
that.
up there.
Like I said, the fact that people can say Nas is irrelevant, Jay-Z is irrelevant, Big Daddy Kane is irrelevant. Just the fact that these youngsters know who these old men are. In y'all eyes, y'all say, oh, y'all call them old men, cool. But the fact that y'all know who they are
Speaks volumes.
speaks volumes.
It does.
Because y'all not running down the list of all the people that me and him can name as far as
No.
old rappers. But I'm saying, y'all know the Jay-Z's, y'all know the Nas's, y'all know the Busta
They're
Rhymes
big.
because they're relevant. Just
They don't
because-
know the big L's. They
Right.
don't know the puns.
Right.
They don't
Right.
know the
So like
the-
all
the-
these
the
legends who we can sit here and name in our generation, and I'm just speaking of the ones who
Stack
once
bundles.
were. Oh, right.
Max
so
B.
When you think about, when you say relevancy, that's why I asked before, what do they mean? Because like we said, Nas put out an album by himself, and there's no knock to
Well,
21
not by
putting
himself,
no, I'm just saying as far as like 21's album is with Drake.
Oh,
So you know that's a mixture of both of their fans.
it's a close
So
item.
with Nas album, you know what I'm saying, is a Nas album, and he still did 100.
He gonna always do
You
100.
see what I'm saying? So you got to look at that, and then you say, well, is that relevant? And then you say, well, it's just his fan base. Well, most artists' fan base, let's be honest, outgrow them or outgrow their music. A lot of artists who once upon a time sold 1 million, right? Take them off the mainstream, now that million goes to about 500, 400,000, right? 10 years from now, that 400,000 goes to about 100,000, maybe. Maybe. But Nas was able to keep his relevant, if not spiking up.
Yeah.
And it's not that he's retaining old fans, it's because he's gaining new fans. That's what that shows. So when you say he has a large fan base, that's a large fan base that's growing currently. Not old people that's following him. Yes, he got those. Those are the core fan base.
Core.
The core fan base. But the young people.
You can live off the core for a while.
Of course, you can live sweet off the core. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always, you can do that.
Yeah.
But when you think about somebody like him, who's incorporated the new sound, some of the drill sound, not necessarily all of it, but some of the techniques and stuff like that, the artist, the whole culture
Still
of
able
it.
to hold his own against modern day artists.
Right.
If they rap side by side.
And what's the one thing you never hear Nas do? You never hear him hate on another rapper.
Not no
Ever.
more.
I mean,
No
besides
more.
that, besides the one beef that he had with Jay-Z, where he bodied Jay-Z.
He
I'm
had a
sorry.
couple beefs. He had a
But I'm
couple
just
beefs.
saying, you don't hear, but ever since then, you don't hear Nas in that tone. He always just come out on the mic doing his thing, his positivity,
Peaceful,
his
yeah.
king this, his queen that.
Yeah, he's
it's
big
always
up
that, you know.
He's always big up in the next artist. Yes.
Right. That's another reason that he stayed relevant.
He picked up YG on their song.
He picked up a few people, bro. Like a lot of folks.
But I'm saying, like, his,
Yeah.
a Nas cosign would go a lot further than the 21 Savage cosign.
Absolutely. And I'm not hating on 21 because
I'm hating. Nigga, you better not never say that again.
well, I just want him to understand that.
I understand you have an opinion.
Right.
But if that shit ain't relevant, you like that? Don't speak that shit out loud.
I just want him to understand that Nas is still very much relevant when he just dropped the album and his numbers are comparable, if not better than yours and Drake's.
But you know what? A lot of them young Atlanta artists are disrespectful.
I mean, a lot of artists everywhere are disrespectful. It's not, you know, I don't think
Not
that's
like
an Atlanta
that.
thing. They all
Not
do.
like that.
They're not like that.
Young Thug said something about Andre
He did?
one time.
I ain't heard that one. Okay.
He said Andre was weird. He ain't for the people. And T.I. was like, nah, man, he for us. He helped open the door.
Well,
No, I don't fuck with that nigga.
I ain't gonna say nothing about him because he's going through a situation right now.
I mean, I understand that, but I'm just saying these are his words. It's not saying something about you. This is what you said.
I'm just saying, you know.
It was on T.I.'s Expeditionist podcast.
Oh, yeah, expeditiously.
And so, 21 Savage is another Atlanta artist, even though he's from the UK. Somewhere over there. He's an Atlanta artist. That's what he got on. That's what he rap. That's what he rap about. They're disrespectful. They say disrespectful shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know,
Because
it's one thing when you're a fan of music and you have an opinion. That's one thing. But when you're an artist and you're on a platform,
on the platform, yeah.
and you say disrespectful shit like somebody who outsold you is not relevant, and the only reason they outsold you is because they have a larger fan base and put out good music, you're reaching.
Which is exactly.
Ain't that what Drake said in his song? Back when I was doing such and such,
Oh,
niggas would pull out the weapon when they're reaching. Now niggas reach to sell a record or an album or something. Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Let's
I
talk
mean,
about it.
But that's what relevancy in music is. Once again, when you put out an album, right? You are dependent and counting on your core fans to buy this album.
First, yes.
Right. You are not solely dependent on new fans. Yes, you want new fans, but you are counting on your fan base, your core fan base, to come through and buy this album. You know what I'm saying? So you be like, okay, I know I'm gonna sell hypothetically at least 100 the first week.
At least.
My fan base gonna
My
make
fan
sure
base,
I sell at least 100. If I sell at least 100, I'm good on everything else. Cool. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever, you know, your people project that your number gonna be. But the fan base is where it's at. And once again, you acquire new fans by constantly putting out good music. So somebody hit Nas, right? Let's say in 2000, 2005. Let's say 2005. They first hit Nas. They're like, damn, he alright. They may not be a fan right there.
You owe me.
But let's
Pay
say
me back like you owe me rent.
Yeah.
Pay me back like you owe me that.
Great song. And then let's say they be like, oh, that was dope. And then he come out with another one. And then, you know, another one. And let's say by that point, it's 2 years, 2 years later. So you done heard 3-4 joints from Nas, dope joint in 2 years. You like, yeah. I mess with him. Cause now he constantly putting out good music, and that's how he do.
Or
he ain't dropping music every few months.
Or, like he said on his line on the new album, he said, they say Nas used to pick bad beats. But here I am dropping consistent with hot heat. So, even if he was putting out albums that were good on bad beats, and he has a core fan base, what does that say about someone who puts out albums on good beats with trashy lyrics?
I would ask this. Whose fan base do y'all think is bigger? Fan base.
Whose fan base is more relevant?
I'm not even gonna say that. Because I would say one fan base
I would say relevant.
is
For
the
the
more
simple fact, Our generation might go buy a CD.
That's what I was about to say.
His generation ain't gonna do
more-
nothing but probably listen to it and stream it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna download it.
No. No. And that's what I'm saying. One is an older generation, you know what I'm saying, that comes from an era of supporting their artists that they like, meaning buying their stuff. This generation is a generation that streams their artists that they like. You know what I'm saying? They're not used to buying an album. They'll download an album or stream an album.
Or put it on a playlist.
Or put on the playlist, right? Which is, and they pay 99 cents. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. They're not necessarily used to paying $16 for an album. You know what I'm saying?
$16.99.
Like we was, you know what I'm saying? For
Drop
our
on
favorite
every
artists.
Tuesday.
Right.
Walk into the store, stand in line.
Well, when you look at it from that aspect, right? And I'm just ride with me for a second. Do you think a 21 Savage could sell 1 million albums if it was back in the day the way Nas and them had to sell 1 million albums?
No.
I don't think so either. But
Because the kids that would buy his album would be white suburban America, no offense, and they would only support it to a point. It would only be a certain generation that would support that. Like I said, the 25 to 32 generation or 42 generation wouldn't support that because no matter how much of the culture they want to listen to, is he Dame Dummy, Dame Diddy, or Dame Daddy? I get it. You Biggie and he Dame. Ill. Y'all Puff Daddy. I forgot how the line goes. Something in that nature. Sells way more than 21. Murder, kill, murder. I can't really think of his song, but I'm just saying. Like, you get the drift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The content. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't knock him.
Can he rap? Yeah, he's an okay rapper.
Well,
is he one of my favorite?
As I sit here with an Atlanta hat on, you know what I'm saying? So I don't knock Atlanta music at all. They sound as they sound. I actually like they sound. I'm not saying that at all. I like they sound.
I'm not saying I don't like they sound.
Huge fan of Outkast and everybody else.
Huge
right?
fan of Outkast. Goody Mob.
I like some of the stuff that 21 did. To me, the best thing he ever did was the song with J. Cole. That's the best, in my opinion. That's the best song he ever did.
And then his number 2 song
You know
would be that song that he did with YG, Moneybagg Yo, and Bia. Run.
That was his song?
No,
he was just on it.
He was
that
on
was somebody else's song.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm saying.
Because I can't think of no more of his songs that I actually like by itself.
I don't know. I couldn't. That's why I said I like some of the verses that he did. That's exactly why I said that.
Verses.
I couldn't tell you
verses.
none of the songs that's his, but I like some of the verses that he did because he said some funny stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or he'll say something catchy. You be like, oh, that was pretty slick right there. So some of the verses he did was cool. I'm not knocking on him. Not at all. Not at all. I'm just saying I'm responding to what he said. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why he put it out there. They was having a conversation about it. It sounded like it was literally 20 to 30 of them literally having a conversation about this. So I'm just throwing my 2 cents in. I don't think that Nas is irrelevant. I think he's a very relevant rapper who's constantly working with a lot of the younger artists. His sound is not a 90s sound, not a 2000 sound. He blends well with the current sound.
He has the eternal sound.
Right, but he made sure that he kept it grown, man. But he has a modern day sound. He's lyrical. We all know that about Nas. That's his thing.
That is his
But
thing.
it's not lyrical to where it's over your head. And you're like, oh, this is the dictionary over a beat.
Not
it
no
ain't
more.
that. Not no more, right?
Not no more.
That's why I said it's catered now to the current sound.
It is. He has dumbed it down.
Right. Of course he's still every now and again he'll let you know that he's still Nas.
Lyrical prowess.
Right. You ain't gonna battle rap him. You're not. Especially, you know what I'm saying? But and ain't nobody asking 21 to be a Nas. But when the 21 speaks about a Nas, then people
you gotta
like
speak
us,
about a 21.
right, who listen. Well, no, let me say this. People like me, because I know he said he don't like him, but people like me who listen to a 21 Savage, but also who grew up listening to Nas.
Yes.
And there is no, in my opinion, there's no comparison between the two, whether it's old Nas or new Nas.
But he didn't say he didn't say stuff before though.
Maybe that's his way of keeping the train going in between singles. Like he drop a single, say some stuff.
He don't really put
drop a
out
single.
music like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in between the time that he dropped music, like he might drop a single, and then say something like this. You know what I'm saying? Be
So
public for a while.
he said something else before. Now that I think about it,
Really? I ain't never really heard 21 really to say a lot. He normally quiet.
21. He said
He normally, quiet. He normally don't,
He said something in the radio interview. That's why he stopped doing radio interviews. He said something about the South got the music on lock right now, and the East Coast is pretty much dead. It was him. He said it, and somebody else
I've heard
said it
that
too.
Before too.
Somebody else said it too, but
I've heard that.
they were all on that same type bandwagon.
Well, look, we got a few minutes left. Let's talk about that right there, real quick, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I want to speak about that because I keep hearing, especially a lot of these young artists say this, right? Y'all do understand that. Y'all do know where all the record labels are.
California,
right.
New
Right.
York.
California, New York, right? Y'all do understand that, right? Y'all do understand that. Think about this. When a lot of these youngsters get their deal, do they not run to do a feature with somebody from New York? Yeah, stop playing. You got to understand. You see what I'm saying? So don't make it seem like, oh, the East Coast. First of all, let me say this. This is first. Everybody's supposed to have their turn. Everybody, like the West Coast had their turn, East Coast had their turn, South had their turn. Listen, y'all, I hate to say this, but it's no longer the South's turn. It's not. The grip that the South had it for like 10 years straight.
I don't know now.
Nope.
I don't know.
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
The biggest thing right now that everybody listening to is Gorilla and Lotto, and those are Southern artists.
Okay. The South don't have it like they used to. I'm sorry. You think about the lock. The South had it on lock for 10 straight years, right? Now it's more
A melting pot?
no, I don't even know what they call it, but the African artists,
Okay.
the African artists
Okay.
that are dominating the charts more so than Southern artists.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? The South don't have it on lock no more. I'm sorry. And a lot of Southern big time artists like T.I. and stuff like that will say that. They get it. They understand. The South don't have, why? Because the dance style music ain't in like it was before. It ain't popular like it is. Now it's everybody, when you think about, like you said, a Lotto, this person, a Cardi B from New York, Nicki Minaj from New York, he don't like me, that nigga got much. And she from New York, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the whole drill style now is popular, right? Okay, drill style ain't the South. Drill style is not the South. The South is adapting to drill. Drill is Chicago.
Drill is Chicago, New York.
You know what I'm saying? No, drill started, that's a Chicago
but
shit.
I'm just saying, they got a New York drill too,
which
though.
I don't like that. I hate that they call it.
You don't like Pop Smoke drill?
No. I hate that they call it New York drill.
Oh, they had to put a different.
I don't like that. I don't, because
like, they don't talk about the same thing.
Well, no. Look at it like this though. When it was trap music, it was trap music. It wasn't New York trap. It wasn't. You see what I'm saying? Chicago trap.
Right.
It went so.
But when they say gangster music, they say West Coast gangster and they say East Coast gangster.
They don't need, once again, East Coast gangsters don't even.
They're two different things.
No, it's not.
Like when Jay-Z talk about riding in the whip in the 300 Benz, but that's his gangster music. Talking about pushing, selling dope and driving Benz. That's gangster music.
Jay-Z is not East Coast gangster music. No. That'd be like saying.
Who would you consider a gangster rapper from the East Coast?
Not Jay-Z.
I mean, I'm just going by what they classified.
Nah. I think gangster music is I don't see Jay-Z. I mean, but gangster is gangster. I mean, as what it implies. You know what I'm saying? I think drill is drill. They still talking about shooting and killing.
Beanie Sigel would have been what?
Gangster.
Okay.
A gangster rapper.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Jadakiss is
a lyrical rapper who was hard.
Styles P is a
lyrical rapper who was hard.
The Game is a
gangster rapper.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think Game is a gangster rapper because he's a real loud gangbanger. For real. You know what I'm saying?
But he's lyrical too, though.
Right. You know, he's very lyrical, but I'm just saying he would be the definition of what a gangster rapper is.
Okay.
Jadakiss and them are hard. They will beat your ass. But they don't represent the game. DMX, once again, you know what I'm saying? DMX is special. He's one of those special people. See, I think, once again, right, I don't think it's fair that you classify gangster because it wasn't gangs on the East Coast, but it was dudes who would seriously beat you up like a Styles P and a Jadakiss, who would seriously hurt you, but they not in the gang like on the West Coast. But
so
they
Jim Jones music is
gangster because of what he talk about.
He's a real live
Gang member.
Okay. All right.
According to him, anyway. I mean, I ain't trying to, get nobody caught up. But I just don't think when people saying that the East Coast is dead and all this other stuff, it's like, are you kidding me? Like that'd be like people saying the West Coast is dead. How can you possibly say that? One,
They can't say that.
you can't say that. One, let me say this though.
Dre, Game,
Each coast, and this sounds crazy, can support
E40,
itself.
Yeah.
Can support its own artists.
Pretty much.
You hear about artists on the East Coast who you've never heard of.
But I'm gonna tell you one
But hold on,
thing.
they tour on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Only on the up and down the East Coast.
And they
Same
make their
thing
money.
with California artists
Yeah.
that tour up and down California, who we've never
up and
heard
down
of.
the West Coast.
Yeah, and they do that. A lot of them, and they make a pretty good living.
Or Houston rappers that only tour in Houston.
Only tour in Texas or Houston or whatever, San Antonio.
Yeah.
I just,
Some places just support. They can support their own.
yeah, niggas in New
Yeah.
York and Cali because
And
they're the
Texas.
two central
And
places.
Texas.
Well, Texas definitely, because Texas is the original place of the independent rapper, for real.
Right.
But when New York and Cali, you're gonna have to go to those two places if you're
At
a
some
rapper
point, yes.
trying to get on the mainstream.
At some point.
And you can't say the East Coast is dead because if you get blackballed by the East Coast music scene,
That's half your money.
yeah, and then you have to go to the West Coast, and guess what? They connected. So if they put out the word like, hey, and I'm talking about just music wise, I ain't talking about no gang, but just music wise. Hey,
It's a disrespectful.
right. He's a troublemaker. He's disrespectful. He's hard to work. That's the phrase they like to use. He's hard to work with. AKA
And they'll be coming to your shows, coming to see you.
AKA you can't
Like
make
they
no
did-
money with
like
him.
They did
That what they mean. That what that
Triple
mean.
X song.
They can't make no money with you. He hard to work with. So they gonna stop working with you. I'm just saying, the East Coast ain't dead, the South ain't dead, but it's like everybody got their turn. And now it's a collection of everybody, a couple artists out of here, a couple
Right.
artists out of there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because the sound now, believe it or not, and I'm not sure the first person to say this, but I'm adding my name to the list. Rap music as we know it is starting to die out. No, it's starting to change.
Oh.
All this kill 'em, bang, bang, shoot 'em up shit, you hear a lot of it not getting played on the radio. Jamaica actually banned it as a country. Banned it on the radio, period. You can't even play it. So, like I said, that's gonna start happening. Watch. Y'all gonna be like, oh, now said you tripping. I'm telling you, the radios are not gonna be playing it as much. That's what I'm saying. Now you still can get it on Sirius
Yeah.
but the main radio station, watch. I'm telling you. Watch.
With that being said, I'm your host, Dysfunctional's World.
I'm your boy Sid. We out of time. Till the next time.
Screaming, let's talk.
Peace.